Hey everyone, and welcome to our channel. With silly season in full swing and contract rumors flying all around the place, we wanted to take a look at the situation at Red Bull. Now, whether or not Alex Albon retains his seat is not part of the question within this video. We wanted to examine two drivers, Sergio Perez and Nico Hulkenberg, for which out of the two would be more well suited for that second seat at Red Bull.
If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It helps support the channel for us to create more videos just like this one.
Both of the drivers have been tied to rumors about potentially being considered as a driver on the Red Bull lineup, but we're gonna go a little bit further.
So with both drivers being involved with Formula One for at least 10 years each, there's a lot of stats we can look at. So in that timeline, here's what they've accomplished so far. Looking at first Sergio Perez. Since he started, Sergio has since scored 649 points for his respective teams, 8 total podiums, and has only suffered 23 retirements throughout his career. Perez's highest finish in the Drivers' Championship was a 7th place back in 2016 and 2017.
Nico, on the other side, has scored a total of 521 points across his F1 career. Of that, unfortunately, no podiums. We all know the narrative around that one. He's suffered 35 retirements, which is 12 more retirements than Perez. His highest finish in the championship was also 7th place with Renault in 2018.
Aside from looking at the overall stats, is in fact these two have already raced against each other in the same team. From 2014 to 2016, both Sergio and Nico were in Force India.
While Perez had joined Force India after a disastrous year with McLaren, to put it lightly, Nico returned to the team after taking a 1-year stint over at Sauber. There was a pretty significant difference in points within their first year together at Force India, with almost a 40-point discrepancy between the two drivers.
In the following year, that's really when Sergio started to outperform Nico, finishing off both the 2015 and 2016 season ahead of him in the Drivers' Championship. During the 3 years that they were teammates, Sergio was able to score 4 podiums for the Force India team, whereas Nico Hulkenberg was only able to score 4th place 3 times.
Although across these 3 years as teammates, Perez only DNF'd a total of 5 times, whereas Nico DNF'd more than double that, with a total of 12 DNFs, 8 of which were a result of crashes or collisions, so it kind of begs the question of, was he unlucky? Was it driver error? How much does this impact the total points that were accumulated? During their time as teammates, Nico had the upper hand in qualifying, having outqualified Perez 33-26. But when it came to race day, Perez outperformed Nico a total of 33 races to 26.
Looking at this, you're obviously going to want your driver to perform better on race day, so this would favor Sergio, although he might not perform as good on the Saturday. From this, you can see that Sergio had 2 better years to Nico Hulkenberg's 1 good year at Force India. As of 2015, Sergio began to outperform any teammate that would come into the Force India team, scoring more points than the other every season.
Once Nico switched over to Renault, things were kind of rocky for him, with 2017 being one of his poorest seasons to date, only ending off with a total of 43 points. He finished 10th in the championship while Perez finished 7th. In 2018, however, things started looking up for him, with a total of 69 points earning him 7th in the championship, 1 spot ahead of Perez. But ultimately, 2019 proved to be a very difficult year for Nico Hulkenberg as Daniel Ricciardo joined the team. After a poor season filled with DNFs, poor results, and even a disqualification, Nico only ended up accumulating 37 points and was 14th in the championship. When looking at their race stats, Sergio is the most consistent points finisher out of the two, having finished in the points 112 times, meaning he has a consistency rate of 60%, whereas Nico's is down at 53 with only 97 points finishes.
So that's how they performed up against each other throughout the years. However, there is always another important element when deciding your drivers, and that is the sponsors that follow you. It's known that Sergio has the backing of the entire Mexican country behind him, not just in fan support, but in money, having 3 major sponsors, all of which are telecommunication companies: Claro, Telmex, and Telcel.
Whereas at the time, Nico's main sponsors were Decra, and then he's still backed by Alpine Stars. Now, we know that sponsorships are quintessential to pulling money into the team, so having a driver that is backed by multi-million-dollar companies can be very enticing for Red Bull.
So those were the points we wanted to raise. Now we have to answer the question ourselves. Who do we think would be the best fit as that second driver at Red Bull. Now, this is very opinion based. Let us know your opinion down in the comments.
You know, you're looking for someone who can play the team game, that can deliver consistent, strong results for the team and help that first driver get the maximum points out of a race. Because ultimately, when you have a driver that crashes out or is way down at the back of the pack, it harms your first driver because you can't play into more strategy options. Now, we've already gone over how Hulk was as a teammate in comparison to Perez directly, but when looking at how he was teammates with Daniel Ricciardo, things kind of started to change up a little bit. Daniel was immediately brought in as a clear number one driver, and although Hulk's performance varied a little bit, ultimately he was very willing to play the team game. He took clear team instructions if they wanted him to hold back, alter his strategy to help out Daniel maximize the points.
I start to think whether if Perez would be a good second driver fit, seeing as since 2015 he has been the leading driver in Force India, outscoring any teammate that shows up. You begin to wonder if Perez would accept being a second driver.
It's difficult to say. Does Red Bull want to evenly match drivers? Do they want someone that might be on par with Max to push each other? Or do they want a strong overall competitor that is going to be more willing to help Max out when push comes to shove?
And then also score those much needed points if Max has any trouble out on the track.
With Sergio, at times it's been a little bit fuzzy as to whether he's willing to play the nice teammate. We've seen him and Ocon crash numerous times. Will he be willing to back off and let Max be the superstar of the team? Because we know that's already what he is.
You would wonder if this decision would also come down to who has the most insider information on other teams. You have Sergio has been consistently with Force India and Racing Point. They're performing quite well this season. Or would you rather opt for someone who's been a part of Force India and Renault, two of your competitors?
We also know that Hulk has shown versatility. Despite being out of the car for over a year, he was able to jump in at the last second a couple of times now and pull results out of a car that he is not accustomed to. Would he quickly adapt to that Red Bull, which is something that previous drivers with the likes of Gasly and Albon are seemingly struggling with? We also simply cannot overlook the fact that had Hamilton not been signed to Mercedes way back when, their next choice was going to be Hulkenberg. So clearly if Mercedes were looking at Hulkenberg as a viable option for a second driver, he is worth considering for Red Bull as well. One of the pros for Sergio, on the other hand, is that he has a much more aggressive driving style, which would be very well suited for the design of the Red Bull car.
Whereas where you look at Nico, he's definitely qualifying better than Perez. However, some would say, can Nico perform under pressure of the expectations of Red Bull in these situations? Of course, with all these points that we raised, we got to ask ourselves, is Albon fulfilling those shoes of what we think Red Bull are looking for versus what we think these two drivers could do? Do you think Albon is the right fit for this second seat, or would one of these two drivers be better suited?
In terms of what Red Bull are looking for, when going over the points that we listed, I do think that out of the two drivers, they would most likely prefer Perez, just through race results, points finishes.
And Sergio's financial backing from his sponsors would definitely help out Red Bull. Let us know if you agree or disagree for who would be best suited for this seat. Maybe had these drivers have been in some top tier teams, this decision would be much easier to make. Will Red Bull choose to bring them on board? I guess we're all waiting to find out.
Or maybe the unexpected will happen, and we'll see both drivers back together again as teammates somewhere else.
If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't checked out this video right here, be sure to do that right now. Follow us on social media, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye!